What's up, family? Welcome back to the Stop Sinking Show, where we go from struggle to flow. In conversation with a friend the other day, I had this overwhelming realization about what makes relationships work and what makes them fall apart. And of course, a lot of it comes down to expectations. But it's not just expectations simply. It's how time-bound those expectations are. How quickly we can expect them to come to fruition, or how much patience we have with them. The problem that I see in most of our relationships that ultimately leads to the demise of many is how much hope we have tied up in them. And of course, we need hope. It's a fundamental belief without which we cannot have the fruit of life at all. We have to have some view of tomorrow being better than today. And that's what allows us and justifies us to sacrifice in the short term. Your hope for the future matters. It is said that hope deferred makes the heart sick, but when desire comes, it is the tree of life. Many things grow starting out as the seed of hope. So maintain your hope. Your expectation evokes a better tomorrow. But at the same time, be patient with the progress you expect to see. The thing that puts undue pressure on a relationship that has yet to be able to sustain the weight of that pressure is expecting that something today that has yet to be. What I realize is this: who I am today is who you get. It's all you can get. If you expect of me today that which I may or may not be the version of yet, if you expect of me today what I am to be tomorrow, without giving me the room to breathe, without giving the ability for that tomorrow to emerge, then you put this expectation on me that I am obviously not going to be able to live up to. And ultimately, it is up to you to decide whether the version of me today is good enough for you. That's not a decision anyone else can make for you. But your impatience or lack of faith for a better tomorrow will compromise your today. And faith is also a big part of it. Because here's also what you are signing up for, that you must know when making your decisions of commitment or escape. That what you are signing up for is to maintain hope for a better tomorrow. However, there is no guarantee of a better tomorrow. And again, if the better me, the tomorrow me, is the contingency upon which you tie the fabric of our relationship to, then you are taking a gamble, just like I am. Because again, who I am today is who you get. Who I will be tomorrow is who you will get tomorrow. And that tomorrow me could, of course, be that better version of me. And kudos and rewards to you for sticking around. But also it could be the exact opposite. The tomorrow me could be a firmer version of me that is even further away from your desired version of me. And you can take that gamble if you want and leave the decision pending on what to do about our relationship when that tomorrow arrives. But the problem isn't in me. I am just who I am in that snapshot of time. The problem is that you tie your relationship to me as a dependency on what I may or may not be. And many people fall into this fantasy magical thinking when trying to have a relationship with a person. Not even just romantically, even friendships. You see the best in someone, even if they don't exhibit all of it, but you see their potential and you fall in love with their potential. And you think you can be the catalyst to bring that potential out, to change them. And whether you are able to or not is besides the point. But there's something to be said for loving the person in front of you as they are. Detached, untethered completely from the idea of what they could be for you. What you should sit with and question instead is, why do you have such ideas of what it takes to be palatable for you? Why do you have an agenda for someone else's life? Why do you have a preference over someone's way of being in the first place? What friction or fear is coming up within you about that? What story is attached to it? Why isn't how a person is enough as a valuable enough human being to you to love, to honor, and cherish without the weight of all that tomorrow version of them could be like for you, how that might serve you better? I know the answer to the question. Again, tying back to the concept of hope. You can't help yourself as a human being to have a vision for the future and what that entails and how someone is painted into that picture or not. You cannot help but use your imagination to do all of this about a proposed future. But ask yourself this question and see if you can answer it honestly. How many imagined futures have you let die because you did not and could not handle the current version of it as you held it in your hands? And that you weighed that current version down, suffocated it by your incessant need of what it could be like in the future. How many futures have you let die because you did not live in the moment? Live in the now. And here's an even more hurtful fact about this. You not only destroyed the possibility of that future ever emerging, you also robbed yourself of the sweet moments in the now, in the present moment, when they were present in your life. You robbed your life of the rich moments, the redeeming seconds that make life exquisite. That's a greater loss than any promise of what tomorrow might have been like. Let me flip this again and remind you that this lack of grace given to us by others is also the same thing we do to ourselves in our relationship with ourselves. It's why we recreate it in our lives, why we keep finding it outside. There's a lack of acceptance we offer to ourselves in letting us be who we are today, and no more and no less than that. The other day, I looked at myself in the mirror, and many days I avoid the mirror because I don't like what I see. Not physically, but as the person who I want to be and who I see reflected back as far from that. And so I do the same thing to myself in the mirror that we're talking about. And the other day I caught myself mid-berate, mid-sentence, right in the middle of me talking negatively to myself and beating myself up for that gap of who I am not yet and who I see staring back at me. And in that moment, I caught myself and said, you are not these things. You are also not the nice things you say to yourself on other days to offset these days. You are neither of those things. You are the thing that sees this play back and forth in the first place. You are the ever-present. You are only the present. And in the present, even you are not. Nothing is. And it is far from the attachments that keeps us in this play. It is distanced from this play of what is reflected and what is wanted and what is desired. That me knows I am only the thing I am in this moment. Whatever it is that I am in this moment. Whatever I decide to emote, say, feel, do. All of it is just a snapshot in time. All the past versions of me are no longer real. They literally do not exist but in memory. There is no physical space for them in the now. And the future me that I often feel crushed by the expectations of, that part is also imagined too, not real. And it's being imagined in the present moment. And sure, we have to do that sometimes. But you want to make sure the time you are borrowing from this present moment is worth the trade for the one you are expending it for. That the future you, that you are spending the present moment projecting towards, or the past you, that you are trading away the present moment to live in, make sure that what you are bartering for, what you are using this only bit of life that you have available, which are these very seconds you take this breath, that to whatever service you put this moment to is worth what you are giving up for it. So make those future projections worth it, and the past less dwelling. Because who you are today is who you get. And that's all you need, ironically. And while you can have aim towards the future, and you must, but you must not lose the very place where the rubber meets the road, where traction is found, where any action or belief can be taken or adopted, where you can make any material difference at all. And that is in the now. And whatever that now is reflected back to you as in the mirror is the place you are, and all the place you need to do anything you so desire. And so you also are in this relationship with faith, that you are down for the ride with yourself, which becomes easier if you are present because you can give yourself more grace, because you won't weigh yourself down by all the other things in the past and the future. But that while you are also down for this ride, you acknowledge and understand that the version of you today is free from all the burdens of your prospective future. That you understand that the current you owes you nothing in trying to live up to whatever story you wish it to live by. And that you understand you are signing up and in this relationship with self, with others, that does not tie the basis of the relationship on whatever persuades you on what better is. That your faith is called to let there be a better tomorrow. But also your commitment is called to understand that no one owes you the version of tomorrow that you so desire. Not even you. You are just as valuable a child of God as the essence of a human, with or without any material or physical success. That who you are today is as good can get for you. And that belief requires no magical thinking, because it just is. If it was to be any more or less, then that is what it would have been, because what is just is. And while you can demand this grace from others to take you as you are, remember to demand that same grace for who you are today, and honor the spirit that lies within you without the heaviness of any imagined versions of what you expect yourself to be. Because honestly, this is so fundamental, so in the core, in the depth of our interaction with ourselves and every other human being, that without this willingness to extend grace, to expend understanding in what you are signing up for, and the faith required to do so, I don't see how any relationships go long term. Because at any given time, people change. To be with someone is to honor them through their 1,000 deaths. Everyone you know is going to look different tomorrow in every which way. And almost none of it in service to you or your imagined picture of how you think things should be. No one owes you that, not even yourself. If who you are today is not good enough for someone, not good enough for you, you are, and they are then less deserving of the version of you tomorrow. Either you are down for the ride, or don't be there when I park. No patience, no progress. I love you, family. Stay true always. I see you on the next show.